When should you quit your job without having a plan or another job or a business lined up? My name is Anna Lundberg. I'm the founder of One Step Outside, author of Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5 and host of the Reimagining Success podcast. And thinking of this question of, should I stay in my main job as I figure this out and I build a side hustle, or should I quit my job to go all in? One of the key questions that comes up is it ever the right thing to do? Is it ever a good decision to quit your job without a plan? Now, I have to hold my hand up and say, this is what I did, so I'm a little bit biased. Back in 2013, I quit my job without any kind of plan. I had a rough idea, a vague thought around wanting to make more meaningful work, do more meaningful work and make a difference in the world, to do more writing, to travel, to have more autonomy over my schedule, to possibly work for myself, but I didn't really know what that meant. However, I also need to hold my hand up and say that at the time I was single, I had very few obligations, I had quite a good savings buffer, I didn't have a partner or children or a mortgage or anything like that to deal with, and so financially, individually, I was in a pretty good position. I was also very lucky to have in-demand skills, so digital marketing, certainly at the time, was very much attractive in terms of coming into different organisations and helping them out. I had a fantastic network thanks to my years in the multinational corporation where I was working, and I landed pretty much on my feet. Now, it did take me quite some time to arrive at what I'm doing today and to really find the best way to do something that was meaningful, that allowed me to write, to travel, and to have financial security and so on. So of course it was much slower than if I'd been a bit more sensible and taken some time to plan. However, again, for me it has worked out, and for countless people I've worked with, clients, people in my book, this has been the right decision for them. So how do you know if it's the right decision for you? Well, that's what we're exploring on the podcast. So do listen to the new episode that will be out on Thursday over on the Reimagining Success podcast. You can search Reimagining Success on your favourite app, and I'll also link below so you can subscribe and never miss an episode. But of course, the reasons why you might not want to quit your job are pretty clear. There's a very strong stigma around the idea of, it's much harder to get a job when you're unemployed. Now I'm talking more about starting a business, working for yourself and so on. So that stigma arguably doesn't apply. But in any case, my feeling would be that if you're being intentional about this, if you're taking time, whether to take care of your mental or physical health, to be with your family, to travel, to start a business, to volunteer, any semi-forward thinking employer would respect and value that, and if they don't, I would question whether or not you want to work for that kind of company anyway. So that's something to bear in mind. There's also a stigma around quitting, but again, if you're doing it intentionally, in fact, staying in a job that makes you miserable, that's causing you mental or physical anguish and pain, and that's having an effect on your family life and so on, that's not the right thing for you going forwards, that could cause even more pain and trouble, in fact, than quitting. So rather than having that negativity attached to quitting, I think it's really important to look at, no, but hang on, I'm the one who's going to suffer here as well, so I need to make the decision. Saying no to this thing could actually be the right thing in terms of saying yes to something that's much better. So there are a few reasons, and of course financial would be the biggest one. If you do have a mortgage and a family and so on, we're not going to, and I certainly won't encourage you to just quit on a whim without having run the numbers, thought it through and so on. But there are, again, some scenarios in which it is the right decision to quit your job without a plan. By the way, if you've done this like me, I'd love to hear from you, so do comment below. And otherwise, again, look out for the episode. So sorry to leave you hanging, but I'll be going through some of those scenarios, again, a bit more detail of my own experience and that of my clients as well on Thursday on the Reimagining Success podcast episode. So have a listen to that, and I look forward to hearing from you. See you next week. Bye for now.